If I had stopped at 30, I'm better than somebody who started at 30 and paid for the rest of their life. Because I've got that money I put in young, generating $2,000 every year. It's like a whole knee throwing in money. You see what I'm saying? If you start early, so I had more money, I was making more in interest than somebody who starts at 30 and puts $2,000 for the rest of their life. So I'm 40, I got 40, I think, oh, this isn't working. Look at me, well, it's been 20 years and all I got is 40 grand. How can I retire off that? I forgot exponential curves. I didn't feel rich yet. I'm 50 years old. I had about 100,000. It says here I should have been at like, okay, well it wasn't. It was like 100 grand or 150 grand. And I'm thinking like, oh man, this is not doing so good. You know, I can't live off. That's only 3 years of salary. What's going to happen? But then it started to explode. So by the time, so we have the bubble, the Great Recession hits, I had like $400,000. In just 4 or 5 years, it balloons up to $400,000. And then the stock market crashes. I'm down to $200,000. Okay? But I didn't panic. I didn't pull my money. I didn't have to sell it to pay for my mortgage. I didn't have to sell it. I let it in. It pretty quick, within a couple of years, bounces back. And where am I at right now? I'm 58, and I have $850,000 invested. Now it's slow, and I'm actually above the curve where I thought I would be. I thought I'd be at 5 or 6. I'm up here. If you had been in this lecture last year, 700,000. In the last year, I made 150 grand. Twice what I made as a teacher. Now it's not guaranteed. It's not the guaranteed 8%, but the stock market goes up and down. But I'm in it for the long haul. I'm letting time make my money. Are you okay with that? Start young, let exponential curves work for you. Invest when you're right out of high school. You gotta pay for your retirement instantly. So here's my summary. You gotta spend less than you make. You gotta pay that credit card off every single month. You gotta save some money for a rainy day. Keep at least like 6 months earnings in an emergency fund so that if your grandma dies, you got money for the funeral. So if you're unemployed, you can still pay your mortgage and you don't lose your house. And then get rich slowly. Begin investing young and let time make your money. Okay? Now, I have some little cards that have the whole little slide right here. And I want you to take one and put it in your wallet or your purse and save it for your rest of your life. Just pull it out occasionally. You can see me, you can see me. But then you'll remember to save some money. Okay? Now, what? Do you have any questions?
So the initial investment is $2,000. You never paid more than that?
I put $2,000, only until recent, only within the last 4 or 5 years. I started putting money when I became a school teacher. They have something called a 403B. It's tax deferred, comes out pre-tax, so I don't have to, you know, and they allowed up to $13,000 to be put in. So for like the last the last 7 or 8 years, I've been putting 13. So about 150, 200,000 of that money is because I upped my number. But still, the 650,000 is just from those little 2,000 that I put in when I was young.
So it's just the 2,000 the first time, and then
For the first several years, that's all I put. Until I was like 50, that's all I put in was $2,000 a year, $2,000 a year.
put in every year.
But I didn't even put it in every year. There was 1 or 2 years when I was going to the San Jose State. I didn't put any money in then. When I first left the Coast Guard, I was unemployed for a couple months. I didn't put money in then. So the answer is I didn't even put in 2,000 every year. Okay. Now Mr. Milligan, he has this slide. I don't know if you've seen it. He gives it to the power. Have you seen this? Mr. Milligan has it. This is somebody who puts 2,000 in to an IRA for like 7 years, and then he just lets it go for the next 40. So they start when they're young, right? Again, same strategy. They start when they're 25, and they do it for 7 years. At this point, you're making more than $2,000 in interest, and he just lets it ride, never puts any more money in. He has $500,000. And then here's a guy who starts late. He starts when he's 32 and puts it in until he retires, or she, and 2,000 every single year, 400,000. Much better. That early money is a little money generator. It just keeps earning that interest. Just like the credit card grows, I want to let that interest grow. And that interest on the interest is what really makes your money. Other questions?
You ever have any like obstacles, like
Lots of obstacles. The greater son lost $200,000 one year. Now, it seemed like a lot of the time. I think like, oh no, I'm 50 years old. I just lost $200,000. How am I going to ever retire? And here I'm at 58. I'm retired.
You ever have like want to go to the casino or just?
You know, I'm not a casino guy. You know, because I'm a math guy. I know the probability of the odds. So that's not. You know, I love to see shows though. So we love to travel. We go to Prague, and we went to we brought my sisters and my two nieces to Port of Arts this year. We had a nice family vacation. We're gonna go visit my nephew, and so I don't say I don't spend money, but you know, I do live in a mobile home in Alviso. I mean, I couldn't afford to retire if I had sometimes call it house poor. You put all your money into your house, then you can't retire because you're paying off that mortgage for 30 years. And I don't have a 30-year mortgage. My place is paid for. I just have to pay the little lot fee, and so I can afford to retire. But you can live more, obviously. But get this money in for your retirement. Pay yourself first. Then use any other money to buy the house. Plan it. Use any other money to buy those vacations. Use your other money to pay for your kids' college. No offense, but if it was me, you know, you can take out loans. Your education, you pay for it. I have to pay for my retirement, and I have to start young. How many want to pay for your parents' retirement? Just take it, parents, you spend all, buy those boats now, do the fancy trips, and I'll take care of you when you're 80 years old. Well, I will, because I'm a good son, but, you know, I'm kind of lucky. My folks died young. I don't have to worry about that. Right? So, Michael's folks, on the other hand, still around. So. Okay, so there's a card there. Grab a card on your way out. I deserve a round of applause. I worked hard today.
Would you please refer to the theater?